Yeah, I'm Tyler. I'm the study abroad advisor in St. Louis, but I'm going to turn it over to staff at our international campuses. So this session, we will talk about Vienna, Ghana, and Geneva, and what it's like to study abroad in each of those locations. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Eileen, who's in Vienna with a lovely view of the campus in Vienna behind her. So yeah, go ahead, Eileen.
Thank you so much, Tyler. I am super excited to be able to talk to you about studying abroad in general, but especially Vienna. I am from the US, but I have been in Vienna now for over 16 years, so it feels a little bit like home. And so very excited to be able to talk to you about Vienna. I do also have one of our current study abroad students with me here today. Hey, Joe. So I
Hello,
will try
everybody.
and save most of our presentation time for him to talk, because I think as much as I will be super excited about Vienna, I think students are the best to be able to like share their experiences. So I do have a presentation. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. Okay, here we go. So this is like my background, the lovely campus, the Palais Vankheim, where our students come to study. So you get to study in a palace when you come to Vienna. Vienna is literally in the heart of Europe. We're centrally located. I like to think of Vienna as a small, big city with only 2 million. Just some facts and figures for you. Some favorite things about Vienna is how green it is. Over and over again gets voted for highest quality of life. We've got lots of international organizations. So if you were thinking about, checking out the UN or IOM or OPEC, you name it, we've got a lot of opportunities to network and see some next steps if that's what you're interested in. Any music enthusiasts or psychology enthusiasts, we've got it all. So Vienna is wonderful no matter what you're studying and what your interests are. But specifically, maybe why Webster Vienna? It is a very international campus. We've got students from, I think, over 80 different countries. Class sizes are small, so you will get to have an intimate experience with your classmates and your professors, focusing very much on experiential learning. So it's not just exams. You'll have case studies to go over. You'll have different projects and presentations, which is also wonderful because that leads to a lot of the soft skills that you're going to need for life in the real world, teamwork and presentation skills, problem solving, critical thinking. Like many of our campuses and what you're used to, we've got a lot of services while you're here on campus in Vienna, whether it would be kind of your, if you're struggling with maybe some culture shock or homesickness, we do have counseling services available to you. If you are ready to look for next steps, even if maybe not in Vienna, we have fantastic folks in the Career and Development Center that can help you with your resumes. And if maybe you're looking to get a job, maybe in Austria or Europe, or even back in the US. But lots of support here in Vienna. You may have different degrees or majors at home, but here are the few that we have in our undergraduate programs and graduate degrees. Fairly similar. You won't necessarily see natural sciences maybe when you're looking at your coursework, but we've got you covered in a lot of different areas. For undergraduate students, don't worry about GCP, plenty to offer there as well. when you, I think Joe's background is even in his room at the student hotel. So maybe he can talk a little bit about that in a second. But when you come to study in Vienna, you would stay in the student hotel, which is a phenomenal facility. I'll let Joe talk about it because he gets to live there, which is pretty cool. But great place, not too far from campus. So really, really neat to be able to have that life in Vienna, depending on what time of year you come. Lots of really neat things to be able to do. If you come maybe in the fall semester, you get to do things like Christmas markets in the fall, wine walks in Vienna's vineyards. In the spring semester, if you come, well, it didn't happen the last couple of years because of COVID, but the Viennese are kind of famous for the ball season. So you could join a ball. Lots of fun things to do in and around Vienna. And let's see if I can play maybe one testimonial from Chloe, also a current study abroad student here. She's also got some fantastic experiences since arriving in January. But let's see if when I play her video, if you can also hear it. Can you hear the sound? No.
No, I can't hear the sound of it.
Okay. I think I might have to stop sharing and try again. Otherwise, yes. No. There we go. Should work now with sound. Can you hear sound now?
Yes, we can hear it now.
Perfect.
My name's Chloe Marie. I am an exchange student here at Webster, Vienna. I was born in Panama, but I currently go to school in the States, and I am a social work major. I decided to study at Webster, Vienna because I was looking through all the programs and I liked a lot of them, but Vienna is just such a good location, it's so safe and there's so much to do, and I loved the campus. I liked that it was smaller and you can get to know your professors a little more. It's been treating me wonderfully. I love the city so much, and there is so much to do, and there's so many places to go visit, so it's been really nice. My favorite site is definitely St. Stephen's Cathedral. It's right in the city center, and it's so beautiful. It's one of the biggest churches I've ever been to, and it has so much history, and that's really nice. I also love the zoo. It's the oldest zoo in Europe, and I'm not normally a zoo person, but there's so many animals and so much to see, so it's really cool. My favorite Austrian dish is definitely schnitzel. I've never had it before and it's so good, and I love like the different ways it's prepared and with the different meats. I also love, here in Austria, they use the word pancakes for crepes, and like Austrian crepes are so yummy. So those two are definitely my favorite. It's definitely a lot smaller, but I feel like that can almost be to its benefit because I get to know a lot of the students a lot more and I get to have a more personal connection with my teacher. It's also very central in Vienna, and my home campus is kind of far away from the city, so it's cool being kind of in a city environment while going to school. I would definitely recommend. It's been an amazing experience and it's such a cool city and I love the school. So I'd definitely say if you're considering it, go for it. It's awesome.
All right, thank you, Chloe, for that. Oops, done with that. Let's go on. If you can see, we've also got Caitlin, who gave us a little video snippet yesterday with our beautiful sunshine. So let's hear from Caitlin real quick.
Hello from Vienna. I am just popping in to say if you are questioning whether or not you should study abroad because maybe you're not a huge traveler and you don't really plan to, or maybe you're a homebody and you like staying in one spot, let me tell you there is still so much that you can get out of your study abroad experience. I am the exact same way and I have had so much fun immersing myself into the Vienna culture. It is a beautiful, huge city with so much life and things to do. You will not get bored. You do not have to be a world traveler in order to get the most out of your study abroad experience. You just have to be a little open-minded and ready for some change. Because I mean, come on. This is the view by campus. Come on. Hello from Vienna. I am just popping in.
All right. Then no video here from Elizabeth, but Elizabeth has also been taking her study abroad experience to the fullest, traveling around. You can see some pictures from her adventures here in Austria and Vienna, also neighboring Hungary and Italy. Wonderful, wonderful things. So excited to see this group of study abroad students traveling so much. And maybe instead of playing Joe's video, I will just have him tell a little bit about his experience. If we have a few minutes, Tyler, can we let Joe talk about Vienna? All right, Joe, go ahead.
All righty, thank you. I chose Vienna particularly because I wanted to learn German, as well as it being centrally located within Europe. I've also studied abroad in Spain, and from a traveling standpoint, Spain was a lot more difficult than Vienna. So if you are looking to travel, then Central Europe, specifically Vienna, obviously is a great choice, because we were 2 hours from, or 2 or 3 hours from Budapest, a couple hours from Prague. We are an hour and then much more into the Alps, and you can see crazy beautiful mountains. And I'm from Colorado, and still the mountains here make our mountains look like hills. In terms of the student hotel where you will be living while you're in Vienna, I have absolutely loved it. It was very different than in my experience in Spain because I live with a host family, and with that, it really benefited my Spanish and my immersion into the culture. But here, I've been able to meet people from all around the world every single day. You share a kitchen with about 12 people on my floor, and I'm the only American, and I cook every night with a girl from France, a guy from Spain, a girl from Russia, a girl from Italy, and you almost make like a small little family while you're here because everyone's traveling alone and wants to meet people, obviously. So everyone's kind of open to that change. It's not like you get here and everyone's in a clique like you would worry about in high school or in other colleges. And on top of that, they have ping pong and pool and a cafe and plenty of things to do also to meet people. And in terms of the school as well, I've been the only American in some of my classes, and learning about, I'm taking a business course, I'm taking a film course, a German course, and being around people, specifically like in the German class, these students are learning German through English, which is their second language, and I'm struggling learning it from my first language. And so things like that, it's just been a ton of growth for me. And I go to school in St. Louis, and honestly have wished that I did all 4 years here. So I can't implore it enough upon people that they should come here and experience it. And in terms of the city, the student hotel is a few minutes away from one of the biggest parks in Europe. And when I say park, I don't mean like trees and that sort of thing, which they have, but they have a Ferris wheel and roller coasters, and there's an unimaginable amount of things to do within Vienna itself, on top of the traveling and the sometimes it makes it hard to do the school part, which is what you come here for. Is there anything else you want me to touch upon?
No, I think that's great. Maybe students will have questions in a bit, but that was fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, Joe. And then from my side, essentially, that's the big part of our presentation. Happy to answer any questions. We'd be more than thrilled to welcome you to campus. So come explore Vienna's coffee culture, and there's so much more. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, we're here.
Cool. Thanks, Eileen, and thanks, Joe, for sharing. It's awesome to hear from a student who's kind of currently in it too. But it looks like we have a question here. Michelle?
Thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my video isn't on. I wanted to ask if you've ever had any experience with somebody wanting to come to Vienna but not having an Austrian embassy in their country of residence. Because
Yes.
I'm from Ghana, but we don't have an Austrian embassy here. But what we have is like a representative, and they don't give like long stay visas from 6 months going. So you have to go to another country to apply for the visa. So I wanted to know how the process is like, if you've ever had any experience with that.
I don't know if Tyler wants to answer. I haven't from a study abroad perspective. So short term, when we talk about a term or a semester, we have had students come and do their full degree with us from countries that didn't have an Austrian embassy. So I guess it would just depend. We would need to know maybe a little bit more information about how long you'd want to stay, when you're thinking, and then we can certainly work together. Austria is a small country, but sometimes lots of bureaucracy, but we're happy to help you navigate that visa process if you've decided that's where you'd like to go. And I think Tyler would probably agree. We can figure it out. I don't know. It might just be a time thing, so it might take a little bit longer to get a visa, but we'll help you through that whole process.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll figure it out. And Abigail, who's here too, and the staff in Ghana can help support you on that. And there might be people on campus in Ghana that have experience with helping students from Ghana get visas for countries. And I know we did have some students who studied abroad in Austria and Vienna who from Tashkent whose embassy was closed and had to mail paperwork to Moscow to get visas, and were able to do it that way. So yeah, we'll help you figure it out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. If anybody thinks of questions like if you think of a question 2 minutes from now or 3 minutes from now, feel free to type it in the chat, and we'll come back to it and make sure you get your questions answered as well. But if that's all for now, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Abigail.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Please give me a minute to quickly share
Yeah, no
my
problem.
screen. Can everyone see my screen, please?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Abigail from the Ghana campus, the head of student affairs currently at the Webster Ghana campus, and I'm going to give you a brief idea of what it's like to study abroad in Ghana. One of the amazing things about Webster University is the study abroad program, and even more amazing that it has a campus in Africa, Ghana. So I'm going to introduce you quickly to Ghana for the sake of those who don't know much about Ghana. Ghana is located in the western part of Africa and is very popularly known as the gateway to West Africa. So usually when people plan to visit Africa, we always encourage them to start with Ghana. And that's because Ghana has really friendly people. The people are extremely nice. It's very difficult for you to just walk past someone without saying hello or how are you doing. We also have usual greetings like good morning, good afternoon. The country is also very hospitable, and so it's very comfortable for people to live in Ghana. So if you plan to visit Africa, you may want to start with Ghana. Ghana is also known for creativity, from being the home of Afrobeats, for those of you who know Afrobeats music. We also have a lot of art spaces like the Artists Alliance Gallery. We have the Nubuki Foundation. We also have what we call the Chalawati Festival, which is an arts festival that happens once a year in August. And then Ghana is an English-speaking country, and so the official language spoken in Ghana is English, so that would not be a concern when you're here, when you're interacting with people and navigating your way through the country. Ghana also is a very politically stable country, and so if you're looking for peace, Ghana is where to go. And we are also known for the UNESCO World Heritage Sites like the Elmina Slave Castles, the Cape Coast Castle, the Kakum National Park, and many other ones that you can sightsee at. And then Ghana is also known to have amazing dishes. Something to keep in mind, Ghanaian food is extremely spicy. So if you're someone who has a very low tolerance for spicy food, that's something to keep in mind, but it would be nice to try, just to know that you tried it at some point. So all these are amazing things about Ghana. This is the Webster Ghana campus, located in the capital city of Ghana, Accra, specifically in East Legon. Why should you study abroad at Webster Ghana? So the Webster Ghana undergraduate programs available are business management, computer science. We have international relations, media studies, and psychology. For students who are studying abroad in Ghana, we have the Africana Studies minor. And in the next slide, I'll show you some other courses that can serve as electives or even GCPs that you can take. For the graduate programs, we have the MBA, the Master of Arts in Human Resource Management, and the Master of Arts in International Relations. Again, our class sizes are small. We take a maximum of 25 students in a class. And we have currently about 28 different nationalities present at Webster Ghana. So you get that diverse group of students to study with. Most of the programs that we have come with sightseeing or visits. And so you may visit places like the W.E.B. Du Bois Center, the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, and so many other places. We also have the Student Success Center, which is available to provide student support to students. We also have counseling services for students that are available to students as well. So these are some of the other courses that can serve as possible electives. We have the African History, Survey of African History, Topics in African Studies, Refugees and Migration Movements. I could go through the whole list, but you can see these are some of the programs that are available, and with each one, it indicates which specific term or semester that you can have it available. We have on-campus housing facilities. These are a few pictures to give you an idea of what the housing looks like. We have two on-campus housing facilities, the Oates Hall, which was named after our very first campus director, Thomas Oates, may his soul rest in peace. And then we have the Dencham Hall, which is, the Dencham is an Idinkra symbol, which signifies adaptability. So we have those two halls. We have the quadruple rooms, which is 4 in a room, and they use bunk beds. And then we have the double rooms, 2 single beds. And then we have triple rooms, 1 bunk bed and then 1 single bed. And of course, we have the single room that is just for single occupancy, just 1 person. Our students share the living area and the kitchen on each floor. And each room has inbuilt bathrooms. So you only share your bathroom with your roommates. and the maximum roommates you can have, number of roommates you can have is 3. We also have our newly established Godlock Hub, which houses the canteen or the cafeteria, a lounge where you can sit just in case you have class. You don't have class. You're just looking for a place to relax. You can stay there. It's the picture on the left. And then we have a Radio Webster space, which is for our students' online radio on the other side of the Godlock Hub. And then we have the outdoor area where we have umbrellas and the table tennis. If students just want to hang around and just play some games, that's also a thing. When it comes to student life, we are very dedicated to giving our students holistic out of the classroom experiences, because we believe education is not just about classroom work. And so we do this through various activities. We have our trips, we have our beach trips, market trips, trips to waterfalls, the monkey. We have a monkey sanctuary in the Volta region. We have the royal routes to the Ashanti region, where you learn a little bit about the Guinean culture. We also have special events like our multicultural Thanksgiving dinner. We have our Spring Student Awards night, and so many other activities, including volunteer opportunities and community service. So if you're somebody who would like to do some volunteer work while you're studying abroad in Ghana, this will be perfect, because we have partnerships with various NGOs and we can hook you up with that. Our Student Government Association also comes up with activities, as well as running of the clubs on campus. And then we have residential life activities such as yoga classes, karaoke nights, movie nights, etc. for our students. So some of the pictures, as you can see down there. I'm going to play a quick video. It's a testimonial video. So right after this, then we will take a quick tour of the Ghana campus, and I'll bring the presentation to a close. Oh. I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening. Let me go back quickly. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening. So let's take the tour first, and then I'll go back to the other video to see if it would play.
Abigail, we can't hear the audio of the video.
Oh, sorry, I'm not sure why, because I can hear it from my side. Okay, 1 second, please. Okay, then Tyler, let me stop sharing and then I'll just play the video separately, if that's okay. Okay, please bear with me. I'm struggling a little bit, but I'll figure it out in a quick second. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what's happening.
That's okay. I think we're all having like tech issues today.
Yeah. Okay, let me try again. Tyler, is it playing now?
Yes, it's playing. We just can't hear it, but that's okay. We can do
Oh,
the
you still can't hear? Oh. Okay, I'm so sorry about the sound. Tyler, maybe I'll put the link in the chat so the students can still have access to
Yeah,
the video.
that would be great. Thanks, Abigail.
Okay. So that brings me to the end of our presentation. If anyone has any questions, I'll answer them.
Great. Yeah, thank you, Abigail. And like I said with Vienna too, if anybody thinks of any questions in the next couple of minutes, feel free to type them in the chat. If you think of them after we're already off here, feel free to send any of us an email too, and we can help get your questions answered. So yeah, but I'll go ahead now. If nobody has questions right now, I'll go ahead and turn it over to my colleagues in Geneva.
Yes, hello. Good morning to you. My name is Gail Baboulaz. I'm the Director of Student Affairs at the Webster Geneva campus. I'm connected today from my office, but I see we also have 3 current study abroad students who have joined. Thank you so much, Emma, Anna, and Matt. I guess you're in the, what is it? Cafeteria? Student lounge. Cafeteria.
No, we're in a classroom right now.
All right. Okay, I see. Wonderful. Okay. What we wanted to show you today is an 8-minute video to showcase our campus. And then I should allow enough time after that to, for our study abroad students, Emma, Anna, and Matt, to add any additional information, comments, share some about their experience, and also to have a Q&A. So if this is okay with you, I will start sharing my screen to play the video.
Sounds great. Thanks, Gil.
Bear with me a second, sorry. Okay, no, this is not it, definitely. Hold on. Can you see my screen?
No, I can't see it.
Okay. Of course. All right, here we
There
go.
we go.
Yeah.
We don't have audio on the video, Gail.
I couldn't hear you, Tyler. Is there an issue?
There's no audio on the video. We can't hear it.
Okay, how's that? It played well yesterday when I tried it. Too bad. Do you have any tips? What should I do?
There's somebody's a tech expert here, I'm sure. I know there's a thing with you, like you can change your sharing settings to share audio as well.
Yes, so I'd stop sharing, and then when you start again, you can click on a very tiny little button that says, I think it's optimal for
share
video and
sound.
audio.
Yes,
yeah.
of course. All right, thank you. Okay, let's start again.
The The Webster campus is super cool. I mean, I love when you walk out from the top floor of Jura, you can just see the Alps in the background. I mean, that's just, I'm from Chicago, I'm from Plains. I see corn and windmills, so to see mountains like that is awesome.
This campus is gorgeous, and coming to class every single day on the tram and seeing the landscapes of the city really makes coming to class fun. I come from a very big university, so having small classes of 20 students is very different than my 400 plus lecture halls.
The campus is so small, so you get to know everyone that's here. There's a mix between study abroad students from the US and people from all over the world.
Geneva is like a very central city in Europe, so we're able to travel a lot. My friends and I are able to travel a lot on the weekends, and that was a big reason of why I wanted to study abroad.
Professors here really take the time to take your situation into consideration, and they understand that you are traveling, you are having these experiences, but they do want you to not only test well and do well here, but they want you to retain this information and apply it to your field, and that is something I feel sometimes is missing with other universities, but Webster's teachers really hit that nail on the head.
Living in Geneva has been fun. It's really good if you're from a small town and you want to acclimate to a larger town. It's kind of that perfect mix in between small town and large town. So if you're not really comfortable living in a city, I think it's a perfect town for you to live in.
I'd been to Europe before and visited London and Paris, and Geneva's much different. It's really cool that it's kind of nestled in the mountains and you have the lake. It's very picturesque, it's very beautiful.
Everything is always on time, which is amazing. But it's also really nice, especially living in Les Berges, which is the student residence that Webster's provides to us, because you're a 2-minute walk from a bus station, the tram station. You're so close to shops and restaurants and trails. It's kind of both of the best worlds, being, you know, the outdoor hiking world, which I love, but then also living in the city and getting to have that nightlife experience.
What I expected from Geneva as a city was a ton of diversity, a ton of international people. But I think what I hadn't expected was how diverse Webster campus would be.
Though there is diversity at my campus back home, it's just not the same level of diversity. Here at Webster, I've met students from Kazakhstan, Russia, Nepal.
From Spain, from Ecuador. I guess I could keep going for forever.
Such a combination of people here that everyone you meet has a completely different story and upbringing than you, and I think that is so valuable.
You can visit all of Europe here if you play your cards right, and that's been one of the best experiences about being here, is just being able to explore everything that I never thought I'd be able to see.
I've been able to visit a lot of different places all around Europe, and it's been such a powerful experience to be able to travel as much as I have and just see so much of the world in such a short amount of time.
We started out going to Paris, Amsterdam, London, then we stayed in the general area. We went to Lauterbrunnen in Switzerland and Annecy, France, which is really, really close.
Milan and Venice in Italy, and then we went to Berlin, Germany. It was really cool. I've gotten to see so many cool places since being here.
And Webster put together a ski weekend trip in Zermatt, which is the Matterhorn. It was gorgeous, and they organized the whole thing for skiing. It was a great opportunity to take the train with everyone, get to know all the other Webster students as well as other study abroad students.
Paris was like, it was so cool. It was the first place we traveled to. It was like, we went like 2 weeks after we first got here. We just like spontaneously went to Paris because you can do that when you live in Geneva.
I never expected to be taking trains everywhere because you just don't have them in the States, but I've taken so many train trips, which has just been awesome.
I came to Geneva to snowboard. I brought my snowboard out, I brought all my ski gear out, and every Tuesday, January and February, I actually went to Chamonix, France, and it was the epitome of my study abroad experience.
You see pictures of it all the time, and it just doesn't quite describe the experience that you have up there, like being a part of the mountains and like the snow and seeing the sun start to come down over the mountains. It's like, it's pretty incredible. It's something that I wish everybody could experience once.
Studying abroad will add value to my career. I know that having experience in a global setting is super important to a lot of companies. So being able to just talk to people of different cultural backgrounds, know of different languages, cultures, everything, and just like seeing the world outside of your own perspective is super helpful.
One thing that's great about studying abroad, especially here, is what it's going to do for me in my future, especially when it comes to my career. I am studying international studies, international relations, and so first of all, just living abroad shows employers like I know how to adapt into new situations, into new cultures. I'm able to learn while living in other places.
I feel that study abroad will definitely change the way that I look at my future in terms of where I would like to end up. Now that I have a better taste of what Europe is like, I could definitely see myself living here for an extended period of time down the road, or perhaps look for jobs here, no doubt. And that's something I couldn't confidently say before I came here.
One of the most important reasons to study abroad in general is to learn what it's like to live in other places, but it's also, of course, very enjoyable. It helps you grow as a person. And then Geneva specifically, I think you should study at because of the people and the travel opportunities. Honestly, that's what it was for me.
What I would tell anyone back home who is thinking about studying abroad is definitely do it. It's such an amazing experience. I feel like I've grown a lot as a person because I came here, and it's just been such a rewarding experience, and I've loved it so much.
And what I would tell anyone back home who's thinking about coming here is absolutely do it. I can guarantee you'll have no regrets.
You're probably very nervous to come here, but it's actually so easy. The staff is so welcoming. They take you from the airport to your accommodation. You live with mostly all study abroad students, so you're all in this together.
What I would tell anyone back home who's thinking about studying abroad here is definitely to do it. It can feel super intimidating and super scary, but the second I got here, I was so excited that I did it, and I loved it.
If you're hesitant because you're going alone and you don't have a group of friends who are going with you, still go. I didn't know anyone before, and most people feel that they have to travel in groups when they go to different countries, but it's really empowering to go by yourself and strike it out on your own and be able to just follow your own schedule.
What I would tell anybody back home that is hesitant about coming, I relate to you. I came in not knowing a single person that was coming to Geneva, and I met two of my closest friends in the whole world here. So I definitely think if you're hesitant, just take the step and come, because it's amazing.
All right, so this was a little video. I think it gives a good sense of what it can be to come study abroad at the Webster Geneva campus. Yeah, we have current study abroad students with us today, and I'm sure they have more to say about their own experience, and or just to stress some other aspects of being a study abroad in Geneva. So any comments?
Yeah, thank you. So we're obviously here right now. We're all from universities in the United States. She's actually from Spain and is doing study abroad from the Webster Madrid campus. And really they summed it up quite well in that video. It's phenomenal how easy it is to meet people here and how friendly and welcoming. And just to add some context to it, I'm in a anthropology class, and there's 27 students in the class and 25 different nationalities are represented. And that speaks for just what Webster represents, but Geneva as a whole. You're walking through the street, you'll see people from all over the world speaking 10 different languages on the train. It's really great way to immerse yourself, and seems a little bit stressful, but those people in the video said it well, that it's easy to acclimate. People are very friendly, and truthfully, we're all loving it. We're doing just as much traveling as those people were. One thing that I wanted to add was that I believe if you're coming from Kent, you can try to get an internship while here. And I'm an international business major, and that was 90% of the reason I chose the specific program. And all the other assets that have been provided are, made it even more of an amazing experience. But yeah, we're open for any questions. I don't know if these people want to say anything cool.
You summed it up. Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, no, it's great. It's come from a bigger university or a smaller university. This is immediately family. So it's cool.
And also, I will add, I didn't speak any French when I got here. And it's really easy to learn like one phrase that'll get you around. A lot of people here do speak English as well. So, and people are really like, they're willing to help you. And like, if you're lost or if you like need help at the grocery store, like people are going to be there to like help you through it. So it's not as scary as it might seem.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions for us? All right, then I don't know, Tyler, do you want to add anything or?
Yeah, no, maybe I'll ask a question then. Yeah. So for the people I don't often get to, to talk like live time with students who are currently abroad. So maybe would you guys be willing to share like a highlight of your experience so far, whether something that you did and participated in Geneva or somewhere else you've visited in Europe since you've been there?
Probably one of the things I like the most about this campus is how many conference and panels professors organize here, and just it allows you to like have a more holistic view of problems and contemporary issues. And I acknowledge how much like effort and work that requires. And it's really inspiring to see all the professors put all these effort into our education. And if you have the opportunity to go abroad, my personal recommendation is just make the most out of it, because it's a one-time life experience, and it's just really great.
Another thing I wanted to say is obviously the people in that video had done a lot of traveling. Geneva's in a great spot to travel. And because it's so international here, if you're going, let's say I was just in Iceland this past week and I went with a fellow student who is native to Iceland, and just even if I hadn't gone with that person, just to ask questions and be like, hey, what is this like? Like, what do I need to know? Like, what is the train station? Like, where's a good place to eat? Like 10 out of 10 times you're going to meet somebody or know somebody who knows somebody in that country. And it's just very easy to get information about things from people that are relative and not intimidating.
Did you want to say
Yeah,
something?
I'll go. I think my favorite thing has also been travel. I kind of came over here a little bit early. I'm only a sophomore, so I didn't do the internship. I was more like, I'm gonna go all over Europe. My favorite city we visited was London a couple of weeks ago. But just pretty much all the places I've been have been amazing. Even the places in Switzerland that I had never heard about. In the first like 3 or 4 weeks, we went all over the place and just took the train around, and they've all been literally like, I think the biggest one I have is 15 people, which just did not happen back in Kent State. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, I'm the only Webster St. Louis person out of the 4 of us. And one perk I will say, if you're coming from Webster to a Webster campus, is like the first few days, everybody's getting acclimated to like Webster systems, getting their student ID. Like you've been there, you've done that. So it's just one less stressor off your plate. So that is something to keep in mind when you're picking your location. But I think a highlight for me is the traveling. That was the one thing that I wanted to do here. I've been to Paris, Berlin, London. We went to Nice, France for Carnival. And we still have more trips to go. We just went to Dublin for St. Patrick's Day, which was fun. But it's really easy to travel here. And yeah.
One little practical tip. I mean, obviously nobody likes to talk about finances, but if you do plan on coming, start saving now.
Yep.
Make the most of it. It's just, good advice, Geneva's relatively expensive, but you need money to have fun, and you're here to have fun.
I see a question in the chat come through.
Yeah, they do. Right, Gail? I don't want to lie. Yes.
Yeah.
So
This is true. Yeah.
All the study abroad stay at Le Berge, which is about like a 14-minute commute, maybe a little bit longer depending on the time of day. but everything is always on time. I have yet to.
Yeah, Geneva transportation
It's
is
all in the phone app.
unmatched.
It's very easy. And there are all the other Webster students who are like enrolled in Webster Geneva full time, live in a building right there on campus. And there's always people around. One thing they didn't show much in the video is there's a student lounge in the basement of the main building. And you could walk in there at 8 p.m. at night and there's somebody sitting there hanging out, playing music, pool. Like it's very, very laid back, and there's always somebody doing something, and likely you'll be friends with them because everybody's nice.
And also a very cool thing about this is how many clubs and activities we have. For example, I'm not a part of the art club, but I've just heard it's really fun. It's very creative, and there's a lot of opportunities for you to meet other people, just bond over things you have in common or not, or just come to realize that you actually like art or music or photography. I just feel like this university provides the students with a lot of opportunities.
Thank you. You should come. In summary, yeah. Like if you're, I see the one person on the camera, you better be here.
Thank you, guys. You said it all.
Cool. I'll go ahead and stop the recording here then.